All right, everybody, Jim V here, navigational consultant. I want to talk about our first major animal in our series of animal totems and understanding the spirit energy of different animals and how to work with them and bring them into your life and what happens when we see these animals. We have affinity for them, dream about them, all kinds of hidden layers to that we're going to be talking about in this series. Certainly make comments about any of these animals you'd like to, and obviously subscribe if you're interested and pass the videos along. So we're starting with a lot of the Druid animals I'm going to begin with in the Druid tradition, and then move on to other animals as well too to cover a wide range of understanding. So let's start with the most obvious animal of all, which is the dog. So let's discuss a little bit about what dog means. So in the Druid culture, dog represents guidance, protection, and loyalty. So the concept was that the dog can be fierce, but if your intentions are good, then dog will lead you to the waters of the unconscious, to the shimmering realm of the goddess energy. And the obvious energy patterns connected with dog are faithfulness, trust, loyalty. These are very vital ingredients to close relationships, whether it's intimate partnerships, friendships, family, coworkers. You kind of need that loyalty energy, and this is what dog represents. So when we are around dogs or meditate on the energy, we're able to develop these aspects within ourselves and also to inevitably appreciate them in others. I grew up in a house, always had at least two dogs when I was a kid. Dogs slept in the bed, very protective of the family. My mom treated them like they were family members. We did as well. Kind of wonderful energy connected with dogs from my childhood. And I did always feel like safe with the dog around, not even from a protective place, but just from it energetically as well. So I have a real natural rapport with dogs. And people are funny. Sometimes we at their house. I'm like, oh, my dog doesn't usually like people, and my dog's coming over to you. I'm like, yeah, partly an old soul thing. It's also that understanding of that dog energy that they appreciate or sense. Unless it's a crazy dog, of course, too. They were abused, then they might act crazy like the owner, so to speak, right? So by focusing on this, or again, like if you keep seeing dogs in your neighborhood more than usual, or again you're dreaming about it or thinking about it, usually means you're thinking about developing these characteristics, closer relationships and that level of intimacy. Now, within all animals, the energy can be out of balance too. When I use my Druid animal totem cards and readings, sometimes with my clients, sometimes the cards will be reversed, and that could sometimes suggest that either there's too much energy or not enough energy of what the dog in this case would represent. So in that case, reversed, it could be like a reminder. Sometimes we have fear of intimacy in that way, of closeness, of trust, of loyalty, because we've been hurt or abused, and we don't trust that element within ourselves or sharing that energy with people. So dog can help us get that back in balance. And also this is a very significant message. Sometimes we're loyal and caring and protective to people and things that are not worthy of that. A dog will even be anxious to please even a cruel owner. And this is something that can show up in human behavior as well, too. Many of us have gone through that. We're loyal to someone in a relationship, and especially sometimes in younger years, and didn't understand why this occurred. You didn't see that flaw in them, or again, it was a weakness within yourself that you allowed it. This is very, very significant. I always use the story like when I was a kid, the dogs were treated like family in our house. You know what I mean? They were part of our family. And there was a little dog next door named Schnapps that was kept in like a cage outside. It was never allowed inside. That poor dog was a beagle dog, and every time you'd walk by with your bike, because it was right next door, the dog was so desperate for affection and love because it didn't really get it from the family, because the mother didn't like a dirty dog in the house. And it was so desperate for love and affection. Our dogs were treated so differently. And I think that, like I said, I would always kind of try to pet Schnapps in that way, but he was just so emotionally unbound almost in that way. And eventually he disappeared. That's a story in its own right that I share. It's terrible. So it just was amazing to me for people to mistreat an animal that way. And so again, even like in my younger years, I sometimes picked partners and mates and relationships with people that weren't, totally loyal to me, mistreat me. I began to understand where some of that came from. So this is really powerful to understand this. So again, when you work with the energy in a positive way, dog can teach us how to do that in the best possible way. Again, I'm sure a lot of you have dog stories. I'd love to hear them, and loving dogs in that way. I've never been bit by a dog. Some people have, and that's usually telling. If you're bit by a dog, often something about loyalty going on in your life too. So many interesting layers to it. So I think that that's significant to understand. But again, wanted to tackle the dog as our first animal totem, and on my next one, I'll obviously move on to cat as well too, which is a different vibe entirely and real interesting to explore. So again, subscribe and follow and like and all that good stuff. And until next time, cheers.